السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شلونكم بنات وشباب التخدير وأبطال التخدير؟ إن شاء الله سنة خير ومحبة علينا وعلى كل العراقيين يا رب، وعام دراسي جديد عليكم. أعتذر اليوم عن الحضور لمادتكم العملي تقنيات الأجهزة في يوم الاثنين بسبب إرباك الجدول اللي يتعارض ويا دوامنا الرئيسي اللي هي المستشفى، دوامنا في العناية المركزة في مستشفى الصدر التعليمي. أكرر اعتذاري، إن شاء الله تنحل هاي الملابسات في الدوام. اليوم إن شاء الله محاضرتنا النظرية حول موضوع السكشن Apparatuses. As you know, we have in the theater room or in the ICU room some device like suction. If you know this very important device or apparatus for us as anesthesia, because it's which is used in the operating room and in dispensing during any procedure, and is used in the section of all liquids produced from the patient during any surgery. يعني كل ما تسوى العملية أكيد راح تشاهد أكو secretion أو liquids أو fluids in the mouth of the patient. Surgical suction devices are especially important in the operating room. The area of the operation of this device depends on the fact that the device performs a continuous suction operation so that the doctor can extract all the fluid that are produced from the patient during surgery, and to remove all fat and blood so as not to impede the doctor during the procedure. Okay. Type of suction devices. Number one, AC/DC suction. This is a very easy device. I can see it for you. This suction pump has a weak motor, and through its name it is known to operate on AC 220 volt and also work on DC constant voltage. This type of suction apparatus has simple use because the elastic capacity of the trusses is small and even the suction pump power is weak. It is the product of suction fluid related to the patient's throat and is used in the nose, ear, throat, and newborn operation. Number one is very important type, medical suction. This device depends on the strength of the suction pump and the strength of the motor use because it needs very strong suction and is very important and quality in the internal department of the hospital and operator rooms. This type of vacuum, if you know, is another name for suction. Is used in many tumors and usually use a pump of the type decentralized because it works in decentralized and giving higher suction force and strong. Number three, portable suction hood. This suction is usually small in size and weight and has a small jar for easy carrying and moving. Any human can be carry it. It is usually used in the internal sections of the ventilators. It also has a small suction force. The suction pump size is also weak. Surgical aspirator. This type of suction is used in all operating rooms. Usually the pump used in suction is a frequency which is less than decentralization of the suction power and centered because the suction is used to remove the blood and fluids that impede the doctor during the operation, and therefore we don't need a strong suction and usually has a motor number. the engines and the value of their horse on the size of the section and the number of the horse worked every day. The more high quality motor and speed was the amount of section layer in a short time and so on. Number 5. The central vacuum is also based on the ideal of tank as large as compressor, and the air from the internal end is connected to an internal network inside the hospital. If you know, we have central vacuum behind the wall of the hospital with a network of gases and work out of the operating room or other, and is installed on the outlet to collect the fluid. Okay, device components: electrical circuit. Number 1, motor, section, section pump, counters, section and section hose combine, liquid jars and filter the package and the external body of the device. Section procedure: connect the short clear plastic. If you know, we have plastic tubing to the consistor light vacuum board and the other end to suction machine. Connect the long clear plastic 6-foot connecting tube on the patient port on the consistor light. Number 3, plug the machine into a standard gradual wall outlet. Turn the machine on turning the machine on and occlude the end of the long 6-foot connecting the tube. Adjust the regulator setting according to the recommended vacuum setting. Number 5, empty and clean the consistor at least once a day, or whenever the fluid reaches the full line. Flush the fluid down the toilet. Before the consistor is returned to unit, it should be washed with a mild non-detergent soap such as ivory liquid or baby shampoo and water. Rinse well without hot problems. We have problems in this device with many different types of airway clearance. Their therapies, people respond differently to certain suction methods. Because of these problems may arise by following your care plan from your health professionals and taking extra precautions. You can avoid some of this situation below. Maybe some of the situations that could happen: bleeding in nasal area, bleeding in tracheostomy area, equipment malfunction, airway infection, red inflamed skin around the throat, false mucus, trach tube falls out, low oxygen level. This is maybe happen in the as a problem with suction. Patient indicators for endotracheal suction. When I can suck or sucker the patient. Number 1, visible secretion within the artificial airway. Number 2, dyspnea or apparent increased work of breathing. Pathological sound like raunchy, coarse, and gurgling. Heart via stethoscope over the trachea. Progressive pulse oximetry desaturation not otherwise explained. Increase peak inspiratory pressure in volume control minute ventilation, or decrease tidal volume in pressure control minute ventilation. Sawtooth pattern identified at the real time follow volume low. Now, preparation prior endotracheal section equipment. Consider closed section system. If you know, this is very important details. You can read it and save it. Sorry for this time. I can't continue because we have limited time. Thank you and good luck.